What's up, guys? Welcome back to another Pokemon Ultra Sun and Moon Wi-Fi battle. Today I have an NU match. This one is against Frankie, and this is a new team that I've been using basically to showcase bravery. I haven't used that birdie in a long ass time, so I decided to toss it on the team. It is substitute with Bulk Up and Brave Bird and Roost, so it's pretty fun to use. But other than that, on this team I'm working with Saucebuck that can also set up with Swords Dance as well. Then I've got some fun stuff like, you know, Scarf Metachant, which hasn't been on the channel in forever. But anyway, Frankie's got a pretty interesting team. I noticed Ambipom. I do want to keep around Steelix for that. He's also got Alolan Sandslash, which could be a problem, along with some stuff like a bulky Grand Bowl and Lantern is going to be annoying. So let's go ahead and just jump right into the battle here. So I feel like it's worth noting that from the beginning, I'm trying to scout out how I can get Bravery to sweep. So I noticed that he has that Lantern along with the Alolan Sandslash, and the Archeops are going to give me the most problems. But if I can get rid of those things, it looks like I should have a pretty easy time with Bravery. But anyway, I'm going to lead off with my big gold Snake, as he ends up predicting that, and he leads off with his Slowking. So he can go right for a Scald here, gets a little bit of momentum as I'm forced to switch, and I decide to bring in my Vikavolt, because I know I can take at least one. And then I can go for a Bug Buzz and hope that he decides to bring in the Lantern, which he actually does, and that's perfect because Choice Specs Vikavolt is even going to hurt a max specially defensive Lantern pretty damn hard. So that is going to do a solid chunk, as here he tries to go for a Hydro Pump. Unfortunately, actually misses that, which I think would have been able to knock me out, so that really does suck. Hack's got the best of him there, and luckily though for me, I am able to take care of the Lantern, and Vikavolt's doing his job. So now he has a free switch. He's going to go into the Archeops here. I'm thinking probably going to set up Stealth Rock or something. So I'm just going to switch right into Bertha. I know I have a good matchup here. Heavy Slam does a lot, and I can also set up my own rocks. So he does go ahead and set up them Stealth Rocks. And I don't really know what type of Archeops this thing is going to be, if it's a Defogger or what. But I'm just going to stay in here and go for a Stealth Rock of my own. He actually taunts me, and that pisses Steelix off. So Big Bertha cannot do anything there. But I'm just going to go right for a Heavy Slam, I believe, as he's going to U-turn. I expect to pivot, so I didn't really want to switch out there. So I'm going to go right for a Heavy Slam, try to get some damage on whatever he wants to bring in, as he shows me Slowking, and this thing kind of just bullies around my Steelix for the whole damn match. So I do go ahead and Body Slam that thing with some solid gold. It is obviously not going to do too much damage, and this thing can actually switch out and get that Regenerator, which is quite annoying. Honestly, this Slowking kind of just gives my team a bit of trouble. So I'm going to switch into my Blastoise here, as I'm thinking I can maybe just get a Toxic off on this thing, make my life a whole lot easier, as he is going to end up Scalding. So most of the time you do see physically defensive Blastoises, but this one is actually Calm, max special defense and HP, so I can take special attacks all damn day, as he is going to actually get the Scald Burn there, so that is kind of annoying, but honestly doesn't really do too much here, as I am going to go for a Toxic, and he is going to get that Slowking the hell out of there, because there's not much he can do, and he's going to end up bringing in the damn Alolan Sandslash. So Toxic obviously not going to work. Freaking Steel-type Sandslash just breaking my balls over here. But as I'm looking at this matchup, it's not too bad, because this gives me an opportunity to Rapid Spin his rocks away, so I'm just going to stay in and go for that, do like negative damage to him, and just kind of scout out what he wants to go for. He turns out to go for a knockoff here, so that's going to get rid of my leftovers, and now I'm just getting continually weakened by this burn, which, you know, is kind of annoying, and Blastoise at this point is not going to be able to do too much with this level of health. So that is kind of annoying here, but I don't really feel like switching. I'm going to play it safe and just stay in and go for a Scald. I'm thinking maybe I can get a burn. That would just be really nice, but unfortunately I don't, and he is going to go for an Icicle Crash. So I am able to live that, luckily, and even after the burn damage, I am able to stay in and go for just one more turn of Scald to be able to weaken this thing down. And that's really nice, because that makes Bravery have a much easier time. So I just stay in. I'm going to go for one more Scald here, as he is actually going to end up switching back into the Slowking, which is a good play, because he comes in regenerated health, and it's not going to do too much to him, and then I just die to my burn next turn. So that kind of sucks. Blastoise wasn't able to do too much. I actually wasn't even able to get the Toxic off on the Slowking here, but I actually live my next burn damage with 3 HP, and I know that he's going to expect me to try to go for the Toxic. So I'm going to predict him to switch into the Sandslash yet again, and I just go for the Scald this time, which is perfect because I do a buttload of damage, and I actually get the burn. So Blastoise turned out to be pretty damn useful, and now this Sandslash is kind of easily taken care of. So I do go down to that burn damage there, but I'm really glad that I was able to live that last damage with 3 HP, so that was pretty awesome. And now I get to decide to go into whatever I want, which is going to be the boy himself, Young Nipple Knee. So I bring in Metacham, and I'm thinking he probably is going to want to go into that Grand Bowl, both because it's a good defensive wall against Metacham, and he's going to intimidate me. So he does come in, he's a little bit scary, so I get intimidated, but I do actually predict that switch, and I'm able to go for a poison jab, which is going to be super effective. Chance to get a poison, unfortunately I do not, but I did do a solid chunk to that thing. I probably should have just double switched, considering I was going to predict the switch anyway, but I guess it kind of paid off for me, as now I'm going to go into Steelix, which I think I probably should have done initially, but I guess it doesn't really matter a whole lot. But he's going to bring back in the Igloo here, who is not looking too hot. It can't really do too much damage to me. All it can do is Rapid Spin. I do actually want to get my Stealth Rock back up, and it would be great to end this matchup with my Stealth Rock up, but it doesn't look like that's going to be the easiest. So he ends up going for a knockoff here, gets rid of my leftovers, which does kind of suck because now I have no way of getting back to sturdy range, which is kind of unfortunate, but I get my Stealth Rock up there, and he is faster, so he's just going to be able to Rapid Spin those away before I can knock this thing out. So that does kind of suck. I wanted those rocks up mainly for the Archeops and stuff like that. I think just being able to put it into defeatist range earlier would be nice, but he is going to Rapid Spin that away, as I have really no choice other than to just go for an Earthquake. Burn damage just does not do enough, so I am at least able to knock out Spiky Boy, so that's good to see, and it's looking like it's freeing up for my Bravery to potentially get a sweep going later. So now he brings back in the damn Slow King. This thing's just sitting there with its hand behind its back, just taunting me, as I'm going to go into Slow Jet. I'm thinking I lived a Scald last time, so I should be able to take one, but unfortunately, he goes for the Fire Blast, which I think is honestly hilarious that Slowbro and Slow King can learn, but that is going to absolutely roast the shit out of my bug, and that kind of sucks. But now I get a free switch in, and my best option is Saucebuck, because I can hit that thing pretty hard with Horn Leech, but he does still have the damn Grand Bull in the back of the team, who is going to come in, intimidate me, and then make it so I can't really hurt with Horn Leech like at all. So I kind of decided to play it safe there, thinking maybe he would over-predict and expect me to double switch into Steelix against the Grand Bull, which actually would have been super nice, but doesn't work out for me, and now I've got to get my Saucebuck the hell out of here. I do want to conserve that thing because it is useful against his Slow King, so I decided to go into my Medicham. I was expecting maybe close combat from that thing, which I would be able to live, but he actually just doubles back into the Slow King, and Nipple Knee is just gonna... I decided to just go for a Poison Jab. It's really the only neutral thing I've got, and I gotta start weakening this damn Slow King down. So I do actually get a critical hit, which is super nice. That allows him to fire off a Scald though, and he just gets the freaking burn, which happens every damn time. Anytime you see a Scald on a physical attacker, it's gonna burn you. So that really does suck, as now he's just gonna switch back into this freaking Grand Bull. He's gonna get that Regenerator on the Slow King, and after the burn hindrance on my attack and the Intimidate, my Poison Jab's not really gonna be able to do too much. And it's looking like Metacham's not really all that useful for me at this point. With that burn, I'm not able to do really a whole lot. Plus with this Grand Bull running around, not gonna have the easiest time for old Titty Knees here. So I go for just one more Poison Jab to stay in here and kind of just weaken this thing down. Maybe I could get a poison, but doesn't happen. He ends up just finishing me off with an Earthquake, which actually is not too bad because now I am able to freely switch into whatever I would like. So I'm thinking this is probably a pretty good time for me to try to get Bravery to do something. He does still have that Archeops, which does give me problems, but I figure now is as good a time as any as I'm going to get. So I bring in Marika, and I'm going to go right for a Bulk Up because I know this thing can hit me the hardest with Play Rough, and after a defense boost, it's not going to be able to do too much at all. So he goes for the Play Rough there. After the +1 defense, I'm able to take that really nicely, and after the leftovers, I'm actually in a pretty good spot here. So I know that I can finish this thing off with another Brave Bird, but I want to get one more Bulk Up just so that I can take like a Stone Edge from the Archeops. So I get up to +2 attack and defense, and unfortunately for me, he actually ends up going for a Thunder Wave here, which really sucks. I was so close to going for Substitute there. It probably would have been a really good play had I done that, but I kind of didn't expect him to Thunder Wave. I maybe kind of was expecting a switch, I guess. I don't know. Either way, I have to deal with this thing being paralyzed now, and that kind of sucks. So I'm going to go for a Brave Bird here, just trying to hit something real hard, as he is going to bring in that Archeops, which is Risky Biscuit switching in, as unfortunately I actually get paralyzed, which really sucks because had I got a Brave Bird off on that thing, it would have put it down to like 40%, I think, and then I could have finished it off. So he actually ends up going for a Taunt here. He doesn't want me setting up anymore, or roosting, or subbing, but I do break through the para here, and I'm able to hit this thing with a Brave Bird, which after the +2 is going to do a bunch of damage. And I hurt myself in the recoil, but it's still looking like I'm at the point where I can take a Stone Edge if that's what he decides to go for. So I'm just going to click Brave Bird one more time, as he actually ends up having Endeavor, which is actually probably one of the more popular Archeops sets lately, just because these things, once they're in Defeatist, it's kind of just useless. So the Endeavor does kind of suck. I'm at least able to knock that thing out with one more Brave Bird, and unfortunately though, I don't have enough health to really be able to take any physical attack, especially from this damn Ambipom, which is going to come in and just kind of pimp slap me around. So Ambi comes in, he is going to go for a fake out, which I do take with 5 HP because of the defense boost, and I'm like, hey, thanks for sticking around, America. You know, you're doing great. So he is actually, shows me he's actually a last resort Ambipom, which hits super damn hard. But luckily, I do still have my Steelix around, because if I didn't, this thing would just be fast enough to kind of just slap me around. So I'm able to go into Steelix here. He has no choice other than to really switch out, considering he can't hurt me with a last resort. So he's going to bring back in the Grand Bull, who has just been intimidating my ass all day with those weird teeth he's got on the bottom. Like, what's up with that? So I go for the Heavy Slam. I figure it's super effective. Even after the Intimidate, I'm thinking maybe it'll kill, but it actually barely lives it. I'm like, this Grand Ball just does not want to die. Please, just go down. Damn it. So I don't really want to switch here. I know that it's not going to be able to do too much damage with the Earthquake, so I can freely stay in, as that's I still live that with well over half. So I go for one more Heavy Slam. That is going to knock down the damn Grand Ball, and now he's got 2 Pokemon left. So he has that Slowking and the Ambipom, and I'm down to just Steelix and my Saucebuck. So I've got to play this perfectly if I have any chance of winning here. So I can't afford to lose Steelix here, because then that Ambipom will just be able to run over my Saucebuck. So I have to switch into Saucebuck here, who is sitting at full HP, and he decides to go for an Ice Beam, which luckily I am able to live just barely. And this is now going to put me in range where I'm really hoping that the Normalium Z in the slot of Double Edge is going to be able to knock this thing out. So I go ahead and activate that. Saucebuck is looking pissed off, and Mother Nature is about to break your damn neck right now. So it pretty much all comes down to if this kills, because if it doesn't, he'll be able to get a Scald against my Steelix, and that is going to be no bueno. So I do actually end up knocking this thing out, which is amazing. Saucebuck, you are literally my hero, and now all he's got left is going to be this monkey. So I should be still in a good position, because I do still have that Steelix at enough health to where I know that I can take attacks from this thing. It showed me earlier that it's last resort, so I shouldn't have too much of a problem. So in comes Big Bertha, ready to handle this damn thing. Bertha's honestly just been hanging out on the team specifically for this reason, to handle this Ambipom, but he actually shows me he has the Normalium Z of his own, so putting that in the slot of the last resort is actually going to be pretty damn powerful. And that's actually kind of scary, but then I realize I'm a Steelix and this is going to like barely scratch me, so he goes ahead and tries to breakneck blitz me, but Steelix is just sitting over there smiling, having a good time. Doesn't do too much damage. I live it with about half, and this allows me to go for a Heavy Slam, which actually doesn't end up knocking this thing out, but one more will, considering all he's got is a last resort. Even a crit really can't do much at this point, and Bertha is going to come out on top. So solid gold Steelix, I owe you my life. And that is going to be the end of the battle there. So that was a pretty damn long one, but honestly one of the better battles that I've had in a long time. The heart rate was through the roof during this battle. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to hit that like button on this video if you enjoyed, and I will see you guys later. Peace out.